With Google grabbing all the spotlight for Gemini 3 and its powerful TPU setup, OpenAI has reportedly gone into code red mode, as insiders claim Sam Altman has greenlit a secret new model called Garlic in response. But the real shock comes from how dominant Google looks right now, owning everything from frontier AI models and custom silicon to massive data, revenue, and elite researchers, making it seem like they've firmly planted their flag at the top of the AI world, while OpenAI quietly struggles in the background. According to SemiAnalysis, OpenAI hasn't successfully deployed a full-scale newly trained frontier model since GPT 4.0 in May 2024, exposing just how hard scaling has become and how far ahead Google's TPU fleet has pushed them. And even OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever recently admitted in a podcast with Dwarkesh Patel that the age of scaling is basically over, and AI is now entering a new era where raw size isn't enough anymore. What it needs next is fresh research, smarter algorithms, and entirely new ideas, not just bigger machines. I don't fully buy the idea that scaling is dead, even though top minds like Andrej Karpathy and Jan LeCun have long warned that today's large language models are hitting a ceiling and desperately need new ideas. And yes, that belief has become so widespread it's literally turned into memes, with Ilya declaring scaling is over and LeCun basically replying told you so. But then Google dropped Gemini 3 like a plot twist, instantly proving that scaling isn't dead at all, at least not for them, because Google's secret weapon might be its custom-built TPUs, silicon they've been perfecting for years, and the results are finally showing in the form of a monster model that performs insanely well, leading many to start counting OpenAI out. Except this week, Sam Altman reportedly flipped the switch and told his team, "We're going code red." Code red at OpenAI doesn't just mean chasing a bigger model, it means shifting focus to polishing ChatGPT itself, even if other projects have to slow down, because as Sam Altman recently admitted in a Wall Street Journal interview, the real battle is now about experience. Better personalization, faster responses, stronger reliability, and the ability to handle more real-world tasks. And honestly, he's right. Raw intelligence isn't the biggest problem anymore, since for 99% of users, today's models are already more than smart enough. What truly matters is the scaffolding around them, how smooth, helpful, and dependable they feel day to day, especially as Google suddenly caught up with an insanely strong model that's beating OpenAI on multiple benchmarks and exploding in growth from 450 million to 650 million users in just months, while OpenAI's rise appears to be slowing as it approaches 1 billion users, making one thing clear: this is no longer just a race for the smartest AI, it's a race for who builds the best AI experience, and Google is dangerously well positioned right now. Google can afford to go all in on AI because they've got massive cash reserves, diverse revenue streams, and entire business empires that can bankroll losses while they battle OpenAI and Anthropic. But still, don't write OpenAI off just yet. OpenAI's Chief Research Officer Mark Chen just made it crystal clear in a recent podcast that the company is not giving up on scaling at all. In fact, he revealed they've spent the last 6 months aggressively supercharging pre-training, rebuilding that muscle with a hand-picked superstar team so they can go head-to-head with Gemini 3 on raw training power, openly naming Google as their main target while completely ignoring rivals like Anthropic or xAI. And he even teased that despite what people say, scaling is far from dead because OpenAI believes there's still massive room left in pre-training, which lines up eerily well with reports claiming OpenAI is secretly developing a counter model called Garlic to directly challenge Google's recent explosion in training scale that set the entire AI industry on fire. OpenAI's mysterious Garlic is shaping up as a direct response to Gemini 3, with Mark Chen reportedly telling insiders that it's already performing well in internal tests against both Gemini 3 and Anthropic's Opus 4.5, even though it's likely just an early checkpoint and not the final version, which honestly makes it even more exciting. And on top of that, Sam Altman has hinted that an entirely separate reasoning model is coming that's supposedly ahead of Gemini 3 in OpenAI's own evaluations, raising the possibility of a surprise drop like GPT 5.2 or even 5.5 by year's end, while Garlic itself is different from another rumored project called Charlotte Pete. And as part of this code red focus, OpenAI is even putting ads and shopping features on pause to polish ChatGPT. They just want the smoothest, smartest, most reliable experience possible, and that's now the real battlefield. Right now, ChatGPT is still sitting at the frontier, even as Google's Gemini makes huge gains through its built-in advantage of Google search distribution. But for most people, ChatGPT was their first real experience with AI, and will likely remain their default choice unless something seriously breaks, just like Google it became a verb for search. Ask ChatGPT has become the verb for AI, and while power users may jump between models chasing the best performance, the average user simply sticks with what works, and ChatGPT still delivers a killer everyday experience. Meaning OpenAI is far from finished. This brutal AI war doesn't really hurt us at all. It helps us because the real winners of this competition are the users getting better tools faster than ever.